Torah, Yisro, Ayin Dalid, 13 lines from the end of the page. Okay, now the Rebbe is explaining the purpose of Torah mitzvahs is to have the level of Ratzav Yeshev like Avram Avinu had. But by Avram Avinu it was only Beruchnias. By us it's also Begashmias. And that's how he explained Torah's Eishen Mayim, mitzvahs are Eishen Mayim, and therefore they had the Shofar. Like he asked at the beginning, why did they need a shofar? It's not a great musical instrument. The answer is shofar, the simplistic cry of the shofar touches the essence of Hashem, and the essence of the person, the essence of Hashem. And shofar means shapru maseicha, make your actions better. So that is the way you get lots of a shofar. So he said, v'derech klal, generally speaking, u'b'chinas tefillah b'lachash. That's the concept of the quiet Shemoneh Esrei. Because ki krishma b'chisel yaitz misharsim v'yifanim b'rash gadol b'yadas kamarei galapidim. Because in the brachos of Shema, we speak about v'yifanim b'chisel b'rash gadol, with a great tumult, and Shemoneh Esrei is quiet. Halachically, we didn't say anything yet. Shemoneh Esrei, halachically, is supposed to be quiet. Why? Because that's the level of the rotzu, the longing is with a whole commotion, the malachim. But then you have the Shemoneh Esrei, you bring it back down quietly, down to earth, so on. Well then, that's what it says, that under the heaven their wings are straight. What's the inyan of wings? Wings are to fly from lower to higher. So wings are the level of rotzu, the longing to go out. That's all under the pasuk says, under the heavens their wings fly. That means under the level of rakia. What does that mean? Which is the level of bittul. Okay, so therefore, in the level of bittul, you have the level of Ratzah. The longing is, I want to leave my present level, I want to become one with Hashem. But when you have a level, sometimes the pasuk says, the voice was on the heaven. What does that mean? That's the level of Kol Shofar. L'mayla, even the level of Rakia. V'ba'amdem b'tfilah. When they daven, trapein kanfem shabato v'nichlot. Gam b'chinas harotz, v'gam b'chinas hashav, shuv, and therefore they are both together, rotz and shuv, u'b'yochad and b'yichud gamot. They become united. Ve'ina elo lei b'shem lotz, u'v'lei b'shem shuv. It says like this. There's a Veda in world, you have the level of longing and returning. Those are in identifiable levels. In the world of limitation, you have longing and returning. In the world above limitation, the longing is not a longing and the returning is not a returning, it's above both. That means it's such a level of bittul, the higher level, on top of the rakia, the ultimate level of shofar, the matan Torah and all that, is such a level of bittul that the longing and returning is really the same thing. Because if the person is completely batal to Hashem, then it doesn't mean I have a rotzel or a shuv, I have the longing, returning. It doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is Hashem. If Hashem wants rotzel, it's rotzel. He wants shuv, it's shuv. There's no rotzel, shuv. It's all what Hashem wants. That's it.
And he's united with God?
He's in total unity with Hashem. And he says, that's what we say after Min HaMeitzah. Answer me b'merchav begilu yavaya. Gamisrach v'salev, in the broadening of the heart. And that's what it says. Yasa sholem li. Sholem yasa li sholem b'pamaya shomaya. Upamaya shomato. Because the Medrash says Hashem makes peace in the higher abodes and the lower abodes. Meaning, there is no higher, there is no lower, all it is Hashem. And therefore, this Ratzu is not a Ratzu, Shuv is not a Shuv. Bottom line, he says like this, in the whole sequence of the Maamarim. What was the purpose of Matan Torah? Why wasn't it given to Avram Avinu? Because Avram Avinu really had the level of Ratzu v'Shuv. He had that level. Okay? Yeah, it was only in Ruchnius because the world wasn't ready for it in Gashmias. So Hashem gave the Torah, and he's explained Torah mitzvahs is both things, fire and water, the Ratzah and Sheif. So the purpose of it is to come to the level of Ratzah v'Sheif. But the ultimate level of Ratzah v'Sheif is not when you are separate longing and turning, because then it's two identifiable levels, which is limitation. The ultimate level is to reach a level of Eisa Shalom B'Mreimov, Kol HaShefar, that reaches a level which is above both, and therefore all there is God. The Ratzah v'Sheif is...
Don't exist.
Huh?
Then you won't exist.
We don't exist. No, faket. The real existence is when we're not ourselves, we're Hashem. Hashem is the only real existence. Always was, is, and will be. So as long as we are we, there was a time we weren't before we were born, and after 120 years we're not here either. So that we're not the real existence. There was a time we weren't, and there's a time we won't be. The only real existence is Hashem. So when a person becomes batul to Hashem, meaning they don't exist, so that's the real existence. Because then the only thing that exists is Hashem. And Hashem is the real existence. That's what it says. What we say every time we take out the Torah. You are clinging to Hashem, therefore Chaim Kulcham, therefore you're alive. Because when you cling to Hashem, you're alive. Why? Because the real existence of life is Hashem. A Rosh Hashanah, even in their lifetime, is called dead, because they're not connected. They're not connected to the real level of life.
And you can never reach that level unless you go to Galut.
The only way you reach that level is when you do a mitzvah, especially in the time of Galus. Especially in the time of Galus. When it's harder, that's when you get it more.
But the Rebbe clearly says Galut is a necessary for us to get to that level.
Correct. 100%. That's why Hashem made Galus. Hashem doesn't do things for no reason, and whatever Hashem does is good. So what's the purpose of suffering for Galus, in Galus? Just like they suffered in Egypt to refine themselves to get Matan Torah, so the suffering of Galus to get Torah Shel Mashiach, which is higher than Matan Torah. Very simple. It's all good. Even when it's bad, it's good. He could have done a lot of things, but this is the way he wants it. Because if he made it a different way, then he's doing it, not us. Hashem doesn't want it. He makes a perfect world. He brings Mashiach. We said many times, I promise you, Hashem wants Mashiach more than we do. He wants to reveal himself. he wants to reveal himself. He wants to make a derivative tachteinim. So why doesn't Hashem do it? Bring Mashiach. What the heck? What does he care about us for? Just bring Mashiach. The answer is, big deal, then he does it. That's not what he wants. He doesn't want a dira. He wants a dira b'tachteinim. He wants that we do it. So in order for us to do it, that's the only way it could be done. How do I know it's the only way it could be done? Because that's the way Hashem made it happen. If it could have been done a different way, Hashem would have done it a different way. So this is the way it has to be. It's very simple. I mean, when you learn Chassidus, it's very simple. Okay, 148. This is what the Pasuk says. The whole nation saw the voices and the flame of fire and the sound of the shofar. What is a voice? They saw the voices. Koil is bringing down Elokus. What does that mean? Koil Gashmi. Just like a physical sound, it's the air coming out of the heart. Okay? So he says like this. What is a voice? A voice is revealing air from the heart out into the open. That's what a voice is. So he says, when you want to reveal godliness from a concealed to a level, just like speech does it. What speech? A revelation of something hidden. You don't know what I think. I want you to know what I speak it. He said the same thing with the sound of a voice. The voice is revealing the ear from the heart to the open. And therefore, by the way, you can tell from the voice is a very revealing thing. You can tell from a voice if a guy's angry. You can tell from the voice if a guy's in a good mood, bad mood, nice, not nice. Even if he doesn't say anything. I mean, you could tell right away because it's a revelation of the heart. No.
Rabbi, what's the name when it says a kol
Yaakov reveals godliness.
So Yaakov is revealing godliness.
Yeah, koilos. And then it says, "Vayadas hakolos." What does the pasuk say? V'chol ha'am re'im es hakolos, plural. Meaning, K'mayim Erazal, that zeicha l'teira shenitna b'chamisha kolos. That they merited, it says over there like this. There's a very interesting Gemara. Kol ha'mismei chosim v'kala, whoever makes the chosim kala happy, merits the 5 kolos of Matan Torah. Because in Mizmor LeDavid that we say, Kol Hashem b'ker, Kol Hashem b'hadar, Kol Hashem, 5 times the word Kol. So the Gemara says, you're zeicha when you're a sameach chosim v'kala to the 5 kolos. So he says, what does it mean, the chamisha kolos? Hem hei pa'amim mayim. K'mei sheyesh pa'amim hei pa'amim erd. So it says interesting. At the beginning of creation, it says 5 times the word mayim, 5 times the word ord. Which is the concept of Matan Torah. Matan Torah is ord, Torah ord, and you have the level of mayim. And he says, U'mayim em amshachas chesed. What is mayim? The amshach of chesed. She go to me mokum gevei lemokum nalmoch, to go from a high place to a low place. Hainu gili amshachas eretz al baruch hu b'maisa mitzvos. So what did they see? They saw the kolos. Okay, now, the Alter Rebbe just got to explaining that Matan Torah is my Eishin Mayim. Right? It's Eishin Mayim. So he says, that's what they saw, the kolos. Vesalapidim. Koil, he says, is Amshacham Milmailo Lamata, that's Mayim. The fire, the lapidim, the torches of fire, that's the level of Gvura. Eish. So they saw by Matan Torah the Rotzo and the Sheiv. The Rotzo of the fires and the Shuv of the water. Vesalapid, the Maino Eish bears Kamalapidim. But Rotzo it Shukka Mimata Lamaila. Okay? So he says, why does it say they saw the voices and they saw the flames? Meaning, they had the Rotzo of a Sheiv. That's what they saw by Matan Torah. But the pasuk says they all saw it.
Visually.
Yeah, even though we discussed this Monday night by the Chumash class, even though you don't see voices, so what do you mean they saw the voices? He says, so the Rebbe explains in the Sikha that Rayan, when you see something, it's very tangible to you. You see it. Nobody can doubt you on it. You saw it. But understanding, listening, understanding, you can understand it. Somebody will show you don't understand it. You can't, if I see the Sefer, you can't, whatever you're going to tell me is not going to prove to me I didn't see it. I saw it. So Riyah is when you actualize it completely. And it's very close to you what you see. So that's what it says. They saw the rain as a kalis. They call shofar min ha-meitzah, because the call of the shofar comes. The shofar is from the narrow side. So what happened by Matan Torah? Just like Matan Torah made peace between heaven and earth. Basically, they made peace between heaven and earth, right? Like this, heaven was heaven, and earth was earth. Shemayim, Shemayim Lashem, Baris Nasan Livnei Adam. So there's no connection. Nevertheless, Matan Torah made peace between heaven and earth. He said they also made peace between Ratza and Sheif.
Because it was higher.
Because it's higher than both together. And that's why from the Kol HaShofar, they saw the level of Mayim and Eish, Ratza and Sheif, and that's why the Eibishter made the sound of Shofar, Matan Torah. It wasn't for musical entertainment, because it's a pretty lousy musical piece. But the Shofar is Pshitas of the Shofar. Min HaMeitzah gets the Merchav, then you combine Meitzah and Merchav together. And then the pasuk says, "V'sa'ad Oshin." They saw the mountain smoking, right? It's full of smoke. They Oshan, what is smoke? When the smoke, what makes something smoke? When there's burning something that has the element of afar in it, element of earth, and that burns, it goes up. That's what the smoke is. If you don't have something smoke more than others. When you light it, something smoke more than others. Because if it has more of the element of afar, that Rebbe is saying here, then it creates the smoke. But now it's interesting because Chassidus explains that the word Sefer, it says Ashan stands for Elam, Shana, and Nefesh. There's three things: time, place, and person. But everything is time, place, and person. Ashan is Elam, which means world, which is place. Shin is Shana, year, time. And Nun is Nefesh, the person. So everything in world is time and place and the person. That's what it is. Yeah, the person doing what he does.
Rabbi, don't things that are wet make more smoke? Like wet wood makes much more smoke.
Yeah, but it's bringing out the Yeseda Afar of the water. But how it's brought down in Chassidus that when you burn something, you see all four elements. If you ever burn something, you see a little bit of moisture in it, in the fire. So that's the element of Mayim. Then you have the Ruach is the smoke coming up, the Eish is the fire, and the Afar is the ashes remaining at the end. So actually when you burn something, you're revealing all the four elements of the object that you're burning. Everything is composed of four elements. The difference between one thing and another thing is how much combination of the four elements. Something may have more Eish than Ruach, some have more Ruach than Eish, and Mayim and Afar. Everything is different composition. But everything, every object of the world is composed of four elements. The only difference between a table and this and that is the composition of the four elements. How much of it, what percentage of each. And he says, listen to the Kedusha, therefore when you elevate Klipas Noiga, Torah mitzvahs, to the level of Kedusha, it's called Ashan. It's called smoke. Because smoke is a combination of all these things together. Teva Ashan. And the nature of smoke, Sha'ela, it goes up. So he says, what's the level of Ashan? Ashan is a combination of things that come together and go up. That's the level of what he's going to explain by Har Sinai, Ashan Kula. That this whole level was when the Nefesh Habamis is elevated to the Nefesh Holakis, it's called Ashan. And by the way, that's why it's through Olam Shana Nefesh. Because in order to do Torah mitzvahs, you need time. You need to have time when you do the mitzvah. You can't bench lulav today, because it's not the time for it. If lulav is good, what's wrong with doing it now? Because it's the wrong time. You want to make Shabbos today, it's very nice, but it's not. You don't make anything in Shabbos. Yeah, lots of love. Yeah, lots of love. It's not going to be the whole level of Shabbos on a regular basis. So you need time, you need place, and you need the person doing the mitzvah. Mitzvah doesn't happen by itself. If a mitzvah happens by itself, it's not done. You need the person doing a mitzvah. Certain mitzvahs, even if you don't know you're doing it, but you did it, so it's like it says in halacha. If you're walking in the street, money falls out of your pocket. You didn't even know the money fell. And a poor man finds it, you get the mitzvah tzedakah. But you did the act. it fell out of your pocket. You didn't even have to know you did it. But and many times a person is pushed into the mikveh.
Rabbi, it's the same if somebody does the mitzvah consciously or unconsciously. It's the reward. It's the same.
No, because when you do it consciously, you have the kavanah for the mitzvah.
Right.
Okay, but certain mitzvahs, there's one mitzvah in the Torah. One mitzvah in the Torah. The only way you can do it is by forgetting.
What is it?
The level of shikha. There's leket, shikha, and peah. The corners of the field you have to leave for the poor people. So what's the mitzvah shikha? If you forgot some stalks,
Right.
you have to leave it for the poor person. Yeah? So what's the mitzvah? What makes the mitzvah? When you're not aware, if you're aware of the stalks, it's not shikha. You can take it. So it needs to, there are mitzvahs that come through shikha. There's one, but Moshe, it meant not in all dinim, but sometimes a guy, a sheikhet, takes his knife and throws it. And it happens to shech the animal properly. It's a good shechita. If a guy is thrown into the ocean, it's a good tefillah. He doesn't even know about it. It's a good tefillah.
Even without the money.
Anyway, today's class is sponsored by Avram Maradian for Atzlacha, Bracha, Gezun, Parnasa, for all good things.
You don't mean